You ever wonder why some people seem to get richer while the rest of us are stuck grinding paycheck to paycheck? It feels like the game is rigged. And honestly, it kind of is. There's one simple law, so simple most people don't even notice it, that has quietly allowed the wealthy to pull even further ahead. Now, before you roll your eyes, this isn't about some shady scam or insider trading scheme. It's a legal, official rule that's been in place for decades, and it works in favor of the rich every single time. And this law? It's basically the cheat code. It's called the capital gains tax advantage. Most people don't realize this, but the way the government taxes income from a paycheck versus money made from investments is wildly different. Let's break it down. If you're working a regular 9-to-5 job and earn $100,000 a year, Uncle Sam grabs roughly 24 to 32% depending on your income bracket. That's a huge chunk, right? Hard-earned cash, gone. Now, imagine instead of earning that $100,000 from a job, you earned it from selling stocks, real estate, or some investment that increased in value. Thanks to this law, your taxes might be as low as 15 to 20%. Same amount of money, but you keep more of it. That's the first reason why the rich get richer. They pay less tax on the very same dollars that you work your butt off for. But here's where it gets even trickier. There's this strategy the ultra-wealthy use called buy low, sell high, and defer. Basically, they invest in assets that grow in value, like stocks, real estate, or even art. They don't need to sell them immediately. The tax law allows them to defer paying taxes until they actually sell. And guess what? Often, they never sell. Instead, they pass those investments on to their heirs, and the law steps in again with something called a step-up in basis. Without diving too deep into tax jargon, this means the investments they inherit are recalculated at the current value. So any massive growth that happened during the original owner's lifetime? Untaxed. Boom! Suddenly, generations of wealth transfer almost tax-free, while someone working a standard job is still handing over almost a third of their paycheck every month. It doesn't stop there. The rich also know how to leverage debt, which is something most of us were warned against since childhood. Don't take on debt, they said. But here's the secret. Debt can actually be a tool to grow wealth. If you borrow money to invest in an asset that appreciates faster than the interest you're paying, you're essentially multiplying your returns while still paying lower taxes because interest on certain investment debts can be deducted. Meanwhile, someone with $50,000 in credit card debt is paying 20 to 30% interest while earning zero benefit. Same word, debt, completely different results. The difference? Knowledge, timing, and using the law to your advantage. Here's another kicker. The law also encourages long-term investment over short-term income. Stocks, bonds, real estate, these can all grow slowly over years or decades. If you sell too soon, you pay higher taxes. If you hold them, the tax rate is lower. So while most people are stressed about monthly bills, the wealthy are letting their money grow quietly in the background, shielded by law. It's not cheating. It's just knowing the rules and playing them better than everyone else. And it's why the wealth gap keeps widening. Even in countries like the US, the UK, and Australia, where the promise of working hard will make you rich is drilled into our brains from an early age. The scary part? This law wasn't really designed to make the rich richer on purpose. It was supposed to encourage investment, stimulate the economy, and help businesses grow. But humans being humans, those with knowledge and resources turned it into a wealth acceleration engine. The rest of us, well, we keep grinding, thinking we'll catch up someday. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think that because it's legal, it's fair. But fairness isn't the point. Strategy is. And this law? It's one of the biggest strategies the rich have ever had. But what if I told you there's a way to use this law, even if you're not born into wealth? That there are steps, small but powerful, that anyone can take to start letting their money work harder for them instead of the other way around? Because the truth is, the system isn't impossible to navigate. It's just designed to reward those who know the rules and punish those who don't. So, how do you even begin to play the game that's been favoring the rich for decades? First, let's bust the myth that this is only for people with millions in the bank. Isn't. The principles behind the capital gains tax advantage and wealth building strategies can be applied at almost any income level. if you understand them and act strategically. Step 1 is investing in appreciating assets no matter how small. The wealthy don't just stash cash in a savings account. They put it into things that grow over time. Stocks, real estate, bonds, or even small business ventures. And the key isn't just buying, it's holding. Because of the way capital gains are taxed, the longer you let an investment grow, the lower your effective tax rate will be when you eventually sell. Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine you buy a stock for $10,000 and hold it for 10 years. Over that time, it grows to $50,000. If you sell after 10 years, your gains might be taxed at 15 to 20%. That's a big difference compared to if it was taxed as ordinary income, which could be double that. Now imagine if you had to sell every year to pay bills. Your money never gets the chance to snowball. That's the secret advantage of long-term investing. Step 2. Learn how to leverage debt responsibly. This isn't about maxing out credit cards or taking on risky loans. It's about borrowing strategically to create opportunities. Wealthy people borrow to invest in assets that appreciate faster than the interest they pay. Think buying rental property, investing in a small business, or even funding projects that generate passive income. The law even helps here. Interest on some types of investment loans can reduce your taxable income. That's like a legal discount from Uncle Sam on smart moves. Step 3. Use tax rules to your advantage. Remember the step up in basis we talked about earlier? While most of us can't inherit millions overnight, you can still make strategic moves that minimize taxes on investments. For example, using retirement accounts like IRAs, 401s, Ks, or superannuation for Aussies, allows investments to grow tax-deferred, meaning you don't pay until you withdraw, often at a lower tax bracket. It's like putting your money in a shielded growth chamber until you're ready to use it. Now, let's talk mindset, because this is as much psychological as it is financial. The wealthy think in terms of wealth, not income. That means their focus isn't just, how much am I earning this year? But, how much am I growing my net worth? And how can I legally protect it? That subtle shift in perspective is what allows someone to take advantage of laws like this one while the rest of us are stuck comparing salaries. Here's the kicker. The law itself isn't going anywhere. Capital gains rules, inheritance advantages, and investment-friendly deductions aren't going to vanish overnight. The system is designed to reward patience, strategy, and knowledge. And that's why learning it and acting on it is so crucial. It's the difference between living paycheck to paycheck your entire life or quietly building generational wealth. And yes, this might sound intimidating at first, but small, consistent steps make a massive difference over time. Start by educating yourself about investments. Even $50 a week invested in the right place can snowball into thousands over a decade, thanks to compounding and lower tax rates on gains. Combine that with smart use of tax-advantaged accounts and a long-term mindset, and you're already playing the game smarter than most people do. At the end of the day, this isn't about tricking the system or bending the rules. It's about understanding the rules that already exist and using them wisely. And the moment you realize that you can make your money work for you, instead of just working for money, that's when things start to change. So, if you've been frustrated by seeing the rich get richer while you grind endlessly, take a step back and think strategically. Invest smart, hold long, leverage legally, and educate yourself. The same laws that built fortunes for others can work for you too, if you choose to use them. Remember, the difference between being stuck and being financially free isn't luck. It's knowledge and action. If you want more insights like this, breaking down how money works behind the scenes, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a strategy that can change the way you think about wealth. Knowledge is power, but only if you act on it.